Hey, I'm not very good at promoting, so I've recorded this a lot. If you don't like this Uta playmat design, please feel free to skip ahead. If you do like this Uta playmat design, feel free to DM me on X and we'll work out the details. Thank you. Alright, tonight we're going to play some Starter Deck 21 Red Luffy Leader, or as I like to call him, Drinking Age Luffy, because Starter Deck 21 Luffy. There's too many Luffy Leaders to just say Red Luffy Leader, right? Yeah, so we'll just get into some games. Okay, got a Blackbeard. Let's see. He gets to choose. He goes second, of course. Want to mulligan that. Okay. Not what I wanted to mulligan into. But we didn't have a searcher in the first one either, so it wasn't really that good. Ooh, perfect. There we go. And then we will just swing into that. We'll hope he doesn't get out a Dock Q, which could just pop this. That's fine, because we'll just use Nami to swing into his Lafitte next turn. Really? Huh. That's an interesting event. Alright. I'm playing on West just to try to keep the Western meta right now, because it seems like everyone's changing due to the bans, obviously. He searches again. Got a Shiru, okay. So we know Nami will go next turn. We'll take that one. Okay, 2K. We're alright with this. And a blocker. So we've got 5. Yeah, so this is good. So Nami into Lafitte, see what he wants to do. Good, okay. Attach 1 to Luffy. Play out this Luffy. Give Zoro 2 and hit with 7. I thought about running a Roger in here at a 1-of, but I think it will be much better when we see the other 5-cost Luffy. So, I don't know if I want to defend this though. I can get out Wapol, and then I can also rush Luffy next turn. I do also have 2 0 costs. Oh, so we just... I don't get to on KO. That's weird. That didn't go off, right? Oh, yep. Nope. Liberation. I'm kind of dumb. We will use one of that to get out of that one. All right. I mean, we can still hit big here, so we'll just do this. We will do one here. Give that to him. Swing big. Give that to him. Swing big again. Right? Okay. All right. 3 cards out of hand. One of 2 Shirus. Or Shiryu? How do you... R-Y. Shiryu? I don't know. I'm bad. We could still protect this if we wanted to. If he doesn't KO it. But I think whatever he plays, if it doesn't KO, then we should be able to protect. He's going 9. I want to go 1, 2, and 1. Cause it's, yeah, okay. So we're in good. We're in good. A Diable Jambe. All right, this is good. Let's go ahead and let's see. I need 4. So if I go 1, 2, 3, right, and go big. Huh. Let's see. Let's go here. Go attach all. Give 2 rested. We'll swing with character first. You never know. Okay. I think we have to let Zoro die here, but we'll probably just play out the Sanji. Okay. So we can protect Zoro, but he can't attack, so he's going to ignore it. I would assume, right? We'll take the 2 hits, see what we can get out of life, and then draw. That's 3 cards. Hopefully we see the Rush Luffy with the ×2 no block, and then we just play him and swing and win the game. So he nullified. Wait, so the effects are nullified. So he wants to KO it. I want to force. There we go. Okay, Marco, not what we want. Also not what we want. So I think we'll just play this and swing. Right. If we can get the Rush Luffy out of life, it doesn't matter if he drops another one, right? We also have 2 swings here. He can't nullify both. He'll have to play something else other than a 10 beard, right? Which it looks like he's searching for. Didn't get it. Got Lafitte. So if he plays that to search, he can't 10 beard. We have 3 attacks. He 10 beards. I mean, I think if we stack, we win, right? He's got a 1K. Didn't pay attention to what else he drew. But we should have this, right? Can't attack on the Sanji. Okay. Take. Perfect. Game's over. We win. So let's see. We're gonna do that. Just to let him sweat a little, you know? Get the counter out. Make sure he definitely can't do anything. Right? Okay. Oh, yeah. GG. He can't block, so we're good. That's game. That is game. Let's see how long it takes him to realize. All right. Nice. That was a good one. Okay, into an Usopp this time. Yeah, let's go first. Not bad. I still don't like it. That's better-ish. Not really, though. Still a 0 cost and that event. So, but we do have this. Searches so leader can't attack this turn. Well, he couldn't attack anyway. Yeah. He's going second, of course. Cavendish and Rebecca. Okay. So let's see. We'll just go. Yeah. 1 poke. See what it gives me. Do we get the Rebecca out of hand? He takes. Okay, so he doesn't want to lose anything. Either means he's bricked up, or he only has that 1 Rebecca. I'll take. Yeah. Okay. That's a good target for Zoro next turn. Right. Blocker. So let's see. We will swing 6. 2 waffles. That's not bad. He blocks. Doesn't get to draw. Swing 6 again. Now we'll play this. Give him. Oh! Ah! Oops. Got a little too fast. Accidentally clicked the Sanji. Huge misplay on my part. But hey, maybe. Think about this. Think about this. We get the Zoro, right? Oh! And we drew into the Luffy. That's perfect. Oh, man. I wish I could minus him. Let's see. Oh, well, you know. This isn't bad. Let's see. We got 3 to play with here. So let's just go 6, right? Blocks. He'll no, because he doesn't have 5 cards or less. We'll get it this time. We will get it this time, right? Make sure. There we go. Now we got it this time. And if he plays a blocker, we have Luffy. If he KOs either of these two, we play out the 2 Wappos, right? And that's just game. Counter out. I think we're safe to do that, right? Yep. Rebecca into Kyros. Sends this back to hand. Yep. But I mean, do we even need to play the Luffy? We go up to 9. Do we just split? Right? Yeah, we'll make sure we don't do that. He's gonna counter into that. We'll go. Oh, actually, hold on. Oh, this is perfect. Well, not really. He doesn't have any blockers, so. Oh, yep, GG. Okay. This will be interesting. All right, Gecko with the post Gecko ban here. I want to keep that. I know I'm searching for or needing that 4-cost Zoro, right? Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have because I'm going second. But I want to play out the Sanji. I think we counter out to stay even on life. Right? All right, we got 4. So let's go 6. Does he take? He does, okay. Okay. I'm not too familiar with the Gecko leader, only because, you know, people never ran him, really. Gecko Moria 8 cost was just so much better in literally everything else except Thriller Bark Pirates. He was so good in not them. So we'll go up to 6 next turn so we can play this Luffy. We'll get a 6K on this. Let us see. So Trash 5, what does he want to do now? What does he have in his hand? Swing 7. We'll 1K out of the 5 because we know the 7's coming in. We'll take the 7. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, he gets to play from trash. See, again, I don't know much about him. He gets the Dr. Hog back. He gets to return 2 cards to the bottom of his deck. Get another Thriller Bark. Other than that, he gets a Sindri. Oh, this is kind of perfect, though. I'm not gonna lie. And a dragon? Alright. Oh, let's see. So let's swing 7 into this. Right? See if he keeps it. Interesting, though, that he's deciding to run this. It seems like there's a lot of on plays that you want to run for this, and Blackbeard is just the better black deck now. Okay, he lets that go. swing 6 face. See what he does. Probably counters. Yeah, counters this injury. The question is, do I want to protect the Zoro next turn? Right? I don't really have counter to do so, so I guess I can't. Kind of depends on what he does here. Okay, cost -4. So is he gonna just KO it? I mean, that's fine if he does. That gets me a draw. Okay. Swings at face, probably. I kind of feel like I need to. No. Nah, we'll be fine. Because I'll be honest, a dragon next turn might not be the worst idea. Right? Like, we'll get this out. Do that. Take. Okay. So I think we're free. Well, not free, but... I think we get 889 here. I think we have enough counter maybe to survive next turn, right? Probably not, but I don't think he can. Yeah, I don't think he can defend that. We've got 4K counter in hand. Wow, we have 3K counter in hand. Not horrible though. I mean, he didn't get rid of these two, so that's nice. And he can't clear any of it. So we just have to take face. Probably 1K out of this one. Doesn't have any blockers. Ooh, this is good. This is good. Ooh, do we think we can win with 3 attacks? Hold on. Right, so he doesn't have any blockers down. If we drop these two, right? We get to go 6, 6, 6, 8, 9. Does that get me there? Am I being greedy by trying to play these two? Or I think I play this. Yeah. 3, 4. Goes 8. 9. Does he have it? I mean, 9 and 9. I think this is the math that I took in college that helped me graduate. I think that's it. Yeah, GG. Good game. Good game. All right. So we're going to get into the deck list now for starter deck 21 Mono Red Luffy, or as I like to say, Drinking Age Luffy. It's not that different from what you may have seen on like Straw Hat Pecan or someone else. It's pretty straightforward, right? You know, here's the leader. Don ×1, activate main once per turn. Give one of your characters 2 rested Don. The starter deck 1 Luffy was just, I believe, activate main, give one of your characters or leaders 1 rested Don. So this is a pretty big upgrade. It makes a lot of cards from starter deck 1 really good, but starter deck 2 has a lot of really good support for it as well. Or starter deck 21, apologies. So obviously we have this staple. I'm gonna go through it like this. Roranoa Zoro. I always get that messed up when I gotta say them together. 4 cost 5K, 1K counter. Don ×2, this character gains rush. you may KO or you may play a red character with 6,000 base power or below other than Zoro from your hand on KO. Really huge. You can play him on 5 Dawn, right? When you give 1 to Luffy, your leader, swing with 6, play him out, give him rush with leader ability, and then if they decide to swing into it, you can replace him with another 6k or below red that isn't Zoro in your hand. So really good worth out of him, and he's 1k counter. So I got him at 4. I know I can search him, but I got him at 4. Then we have the other starter deck 21 staple, the 5 cost 6k no counter Luffy, rush, when attacking, give your leader up to one of your characters or 1 rested Dawn. So this is a really good way to, play him out at 5 too, give 1 Dawn to Luffy, make him a 6 when you attack, and then, Luffy won't be able to give this the 2k, but if you have another character out, like let's say you get the 3 cost Sanji, you can swing really big with the 3 cost Sanji then. So he's really good. I play him out almost as soon as I get him, or as soon as I can. 1, because he's a brick, but 2, because he works really well with this leader and other characters, like Sanji or other characters that are Dawn times 1. I think, Wapol is Dawn times 1, so really good there. Along in the 5 cost slot, we've got the other Rush Luffy. I'm running him at 3. This is from starter deck 1. He's Rush, but Dawn times 2 when attacking, your opponent cannot activate blocker. With how prevalent Blackbeard is and some of these cheap blockers you get out in other decks, like, Rosinante, in any deck that runs Kid, right? You get Kid into Rosinante. This is a pretty much guarantee. Like, if you have the Dawn commitment for it too, you can probably swing over that Kid with this and get it, depending on, their counter, and if they have any other blockers, you're gonna probably get it. Well, if they have any other blockers, it doesn't matter. So, but this is really good game ender for things like Blackbeard, or other decks that run a lot of blockers or put out cheap blockers in the end. Really good against Usopp too, right? He gets those blockers out of trash, restands them at the other turn, so you can say, all right, it doesn't matter how many blockers you put out, I'm playing Rush Luffy. Then we'll get into the targets for Zoro, right? So like we said, he can bring out a 6k red character on KO. So for that, we've got Wapol, right? He's really good to use with leader ability because Dawn times 1, give up to one of your opponents negative 2,000 power for the turn, then give this character plus 2,000 power until the end of the turn. So with 1 Dawn, he becomes a 9k swing, and depending on what you're swinging into, whether, it's life or into a character, you're going to get negative 2,000 on that character that you're swinging into, so it puts a lot of things in range if they're rested. Also, it's a 9k swing at leader that's hard to deal with. You're probably getting 3 cards out of hand, at least, unless it's purple and they run a Gum Gum Giant, then you're getting at least 2, unless it's Blurple Luffy, but he's really good to have in here. He's basically just a target for Zoro. I almost never play him out organically. I'd rather use that 6 Dawn to split if I can, or to get this Zoro out if I have him. So he's pretty much exclusively a target for Zoro to try and make him stick easier. And then for another target, we have Marco. Your turn on play, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with 3,000 power or less. This is really good. A lot of cheap cards, a lot of cheap blockers that you can KO with this. Some searchers, right, in Blackbeard. If you don't want to swing into the Lafitte, you can just play this and KO the Lafitte. So that's pretty good. Even searchers in Usopp as well. So I think you get pretty good value out of Marco, especially when you play him on 5. He can be a target if you really need to get a 6k body on board with Zoro, but you don't get his on play. So that's fine. But also, if he does get swung into, right, you can trash an event from your hand. And we're running a few events, right? So we can easily keep Marco on board depending on how they're swinging, what order, things like that. So Marco's a really good target as well. To support your early turns, your early games, right, and also just to have more counter, we've got the OP10 Sanji that looks like Nami from Punk Hazard. On our turn, he's a 6k body for 3 cost. That's pretty good. You don't really have to do anything. You don't have to give him any Dawn. He's just a 6k leader or a swing for 6 costs. So you play him out on, 3 Dawn or 4 Dawn turn. You're going to get some really good value out of him into the next turn if he sticks. If not, you're going to force them to use removal on him pretty early. And then hopefully they won't have it for Zoro, or if they do, they're going to be really low on cards. Maybe they don't get the board established the way they want, but this is a really good card to have in here. We also have the OP10 Tony Chopper Punk Hazard. He's a blocker. That's really good. He's 4 cost, really good. And he's a 2K. What more can you ask for from a blocker? And on our opponent's turn, he has 2,000 power added to that. So he's a 4 cost, 6K blocker that also has 2K counter. And if you are really desperate, he's a target for Zoro as well. So is the 3 cost Sanji, right? Like, also a target. But this Tony Chopper is so versatile, I don't think there's a reason you don't run it. Into the last 3 characters, right? We've got Otama, 2K counter mainly, but maybe there's a world where there's a really annoying 5 cost body on board and you have 6+ Dawn. You can play Otama and then play out a Marco and KO it. Not necessarily, I think, the best Dawn efficiency with this deck, but it is an option, especially late game. If they have a wide board, you can clear it with Otama and Marco. You just got to make sure that playing the Otama doesn't set you back in counter too much, or at least you can survive another turn that the play makes sense, because you're not going to get anything out of Otama after you play her. She's just 0 cost. At best, they ignore her, and you get to stack 5 Dawn on her late game and swing, get another 5K swing, but most likely not, right? You can't. You could use leader ability to get her 2 and then give her 3. Like, it just kind of depends, right? But Otama's mainly going to be played in conjunction with Marco if she's played, or she's just more 2K counter. I'm not super sold on her, but she's a really good card. Synergizes pretty decent with Marco and has 2K. So then we've obviously got our Searcher, our Nami, right? This is going to search pretty much everything we could possibly want, except for Marco, Otama, Wapol, and Dragon, which we'll get into next. And I think, no, even all the events are searchable. So Nami's going to be really good here. Really good to play on your first turn, whether you're going first or second, especially if you don't have the Zoro. This is really the main thing you want to search with that. But if you already have one in hand, I would say you're searching for this no block Luffy, right? He's going to be a huge game ender for you. Or if you really need, if you have 2, you can play him out mid game, get 2 unblockable swings. Either way, really good card to search for if you already have the Zoro. Same thing with this. Obviously, 1K counter if you need it, if you've already searched and got everything. So, pretty decent value, pretty standard searcher. We've got Sanji from the starter deck 21 as well. And his on play is really good. It's basically Diable Jambe. Choose up to one of your Straw Hat type characters with a power of 6,000 or more, which almost anything we have is going to be that, including our 3 cost Sanji, right? During this turn, your opponent may not activate blocker when that character attacks. So we have another way for 2 Dawn to get over a blocker if we need to, and we don't have our 5 cost Rush Luffy. And he's a 2K. Huge value out of this card. 2 Dawn, get unblockable on a Straw Hat, also 2K counter. And he's searchable. Really can't ask for much more from this card. Really good with this. I don't think you'll see a ton of play in other decks, but definitely going to be a staple in this one. We'll get to our last character here. Monkey D. Dragon, obviously. 8 cost, 9K rush. On play, give your leader up to one of your characters 2 rested Dawn. So this works really well with the leader, right? You play the dragon, you attach the 2 to leader. That's a 7K swing. Your leader attaches 2 more to one of your other characters that you have out. Most likely, that's going to be any one of these characters except for the Zoro, right? Like our Sanji, our Luffy, our other Luffy, our Wapol, our Marco. Those are all going to become 8K swings. This Zoro becomes a 7K swing, but that's fine. You're going to have a 7, and an 8 if you play him out exactly on 8 Dawn turn, right? Huge value out of Dragon. Really good pressure as soon as you get to 8. You're going to have a lot of heavy swings coming at your opponent, so you're going to get some cards out of hand. You'll probably get at least 1 life, right? Unless they have blockers. You can also clear the board pretty easy with 2 7s and a 9. You just gotta think about your swing order, right? We'll go through the events to round it out here. 0 cost event. We do run some bricks. We have a lot of bricks in here. We have the 3 dragons, right? The 3 rush Luffys that are unblockable. That's 6. And then we've got the 5 new rush Luffys from starter deck 21. So that's, what is that? I'm bad at math. That's 10 bricks. Not a terrible amount, if I'm being honest. But when you have them, sometimes counter's really good. Sometimes you have one dragon out and you don't need to play another one. Having this to get rid of your bricks is really good, especially since you might search into them. You may not get to play them as much. You know, they're 5 cost, 5 cost, 4 cost, 8 cost. You're not going to be getting out too many of the same bricks each turn. So this is going to be a good way to get them out of your hand and keep value. We also run 4 more events. So if you have too many events in hand and you don't need them, you can use them to trash that as well. We'll get into the Diable Jamble. It's pretty simple, right? Up to one of your Straw Hat leader or characters, your opponent cannot activate blocker if that leader or character attacks this turn. Really good. Obviously, 1 Dawn, make one of your Straw Hats unblockable. It doesn't even have to be this one. It can be, if you really wanted to, go unblockable Nami. You have this Sanji. If you need to swing with Chopper, you can swing with that and make it unblockable. You've got your Zoros, you've got your non-unblockable Luffys. Like, for 1 Dawn commitment, this is pretty huge. And you'll be able to, you know, if you have another Dawn to waste, maybe on a Searcher, you can put one on Luffy and then cycle that rested Dawn onto another character so it gets even more use. We run 2 of them because obviously we might not see 3 of our unrushable or unblockable Luffys, or if we do, we might need multiple unblockable swings, so it's really good to have that in there, and if we need to cycle it out for counter, we can do so with the 0 cost event. Lastly, we have starter deck 21 event, Gum Gum Mole Gun or Gum Gum Mole Pistol. Give up to one of your opponent's characters negative 5,000 power during this turn. Then, if you have a character with 6,000 power or more, KO up to one of your opponent's characters with a power of 2,000 or less. So this puts any 7 cost character in range of being KO'd. Right? And that's not saying you don't also couple it with an Otama, which puts a 9 cost character in swing for 5 Dawn. There's a really good chance you probably have one of these characters out that has 6,000 power. You've got your 5 cost rush Luffys. You've got your Sanjis, that'll be 6k on your turn. You've got your Wapol, you've got your Marco. You've got a lot of targets that can make this work. Additionally, right, maybe you don't need the Otama. You put 1 Dawn on, you know, any of your other characters. Well, on this Rush Zoro, essentially, right? He's going to go up to 6k. That will count. And then you can use Gum Gum Mole Pistol to KO something. And it's got a pretty good trigger. It triggers its own effect. So if you have one of these rushes out, they hit you with your life. You get to KO a swing, hopefully. So that'll be really good. I only have them at 2. I don't use them a lot, but I do see the value at 2. And again, we can cycle them out with the 4 cost events. So that's pretty much the list. I'm not super sold on the Otamas and maybe the Mole Guns. I think they're good. Or the Mole Pistols. I think they're good. I've used them 1 time, I think, but I think they're solid to keep in the back pocket, especially at 2, and they're searchable. I think maybe we have room to move the Otamas around, maybe put in a different 2k, maybe put in another 6k body. I start feeling a little weird with that, running too low on the 2k counters. We will only have 8 other 2k counters in the deck, right? But, you know, Otama, I think, is flexible. I think that's a flexible spot. Same thing with the 0 cost events, right? Maybe you run it only at 2, maybe you put it down to 3 and tech in like a Roger or something like that. But this deck feels pretty consistent to me in terms of what I'm drawing, what I'm playing. I don't ever really feel like I don't have an option. Maybe it's not the best option, but I always feel like I have a card to play with this. I like how it feels. It's really good into Blackbeard. It's really good into Usopp. You're going to get over those blockers. You're going to be able to get them down pretty low on life early before they can start removing your board. Except for, you know, Blackbeard probably removes your Sanji pretty easily. Definitely removes your Namis. Other than that, though, it's going to be a little harder for Blackbeard to remove some of your other stuff now that Ice Age is gone. other black decks, Gecko's going to be gone. You know, it's going to be really easy to keep this board up unless you're going into blue, right? Then they start bottom decking things. That is a problem with this. You know, he doesn't get the effect if he gets bottom decked, but most bottom decking cards are a huge down commitment anyway, so it's not that big of a deal, especially when we're trying to get things like our dragons and our other rush Luffys. We're going to be hitting them with 2 attacks the following turn anyway, so it's not a huge deal that it happens if your Zoro gets bottom decked or sent to the trash instead of KO'd. So anyway, that's the deck list. I maybe went a little long on this, but if you like the deck, try it out for yourself. If you like the video, please let me know in the comments down below. Please leave a like. If you want to see anything specific, I can't guarantee I'll be good at it, but if you want something, I'm more than willing to give it a try. Thanks for watching.